Welcome back to the Money Hour with your host and mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell, right here on 1150 AM KKNW, the Saturday, May 30th show. I bring into studio each week the best of the best experts in our local economy, our local market, regarding everything that has to do with your money. I'm here to help you build a strong financial blueprint in today's economy. If you're hearing my show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast, but you can always call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, it's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. And I can connect you with any of the guests that I have in studio, and you can probably find almost any topic regarding your financing right on the website and the podcast. In studio right now, Keith Medley and Brian Walker with Final Phase Inspection. We're going to talk about how to maintain your home from the inside and out. Keith, I'm so excited to have you guys back in studio.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Brian, great to have you.
Thanks, Tina. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about Keith because Keith is the founder and owner of Final Phase Inspection. Final Phase Inspection has been providing quality home inspection services in the Pacific Northwest since 2013 with hundreds of satisfied customers. Their focus is on customer service and providing the absolute best home inspection and experience. They have multiple inspectors with over 60 years of combined experience in home construction and remodeling, as well as restoration for fire and water damage. They offer a flexible schedule and are available 7 days a week. Special discounts are available to police, fire, and military personnel, and they're also proud members of the Legacy Caring Organization, as I am, which serve our senior community and their families. Very excited again to have you guys here, and representing the home inspection arena, if there's anybody listening that is thinking of buying a home, selling a home, or if you own a home, you need to understand about home inspection. I think a lot of people think, I'm not buying or selling a home. If you're owning a home, it's really important because if you didn't do things right the first time around, or even if you did, there's things that change in your home to relook at things and what you can do to be taking care of your house. So I'm just so excited to have you guys here. And we're going to talk about spring home maintenance, inside and out. So let's go ahead and start out with what makes a spring home maintenance unique to other seasons of the year.
Well, first of all, spring home maintenance, we want to prepare for this beautiful weather that's coming here in the Pacific Northwest. We also need to remember that we are also repairing from the winter season that we just had. Home maintenance is about preparing for what's to come. It's also about repairing from what just happened. So we remember that in the winter, here we've got extreme expansion and contraction of all of the things on the outside and actually on the inside of your house. So it's a matter of going through and finding areas where moisture, again, one of our friends and foes here in the Northwest, what it's done to our house. Also here at this time of year, we have vegetation issues that are just now kicking into high gear. So those are areas that we focus on.
Makes total sense. And Keith, what are the typical exterior items that should be included in a spring home maintenance?
Good question. Really, it starts with the top of the house. Your roof and your gutters protect your home from this rain and weather that we have here in the Northwest. But you also have the outside, which is your siding and windows, the foundation, which is really the structure your home sits on. But outside, you've got electrical, plumbing. You also have your heat pumps and furnace items, sheds. More importantly, you have children's outdoor structures that have now gone through the winter and are now getting ready for kids to go out and play on them. So those things also need to be prepared so it can provide safety.
You know, that's a good point because I wouldn't think of that. I wouldn't think of the kids' play stuff out there, but that makes total sense. Brian, what should homeowners be doing in regards to their roof maintenance?
Well, being that the roof is one of the most important parts of the home, it sheds all the elements off. And so you want to be looking for moss or any growth of any kind that can damage the roofing over time. You want to get that clean. You want to check around your skylights and around your vents and things like that. Get all that moss out of there.
Okay.
You also want to clean your gutters because once you've cleaned the moss off, it falls into the gutters and you get debris from trees. You want to clean those gutters out. It'll
Makes
help.
total sense.
Yeah, it'll help the drainage and get the water off your roof and to the ground where it's supposed to be.
And don't procrastinate, because I can only imagine what happens if you let these things go. Whereas if you just get them as it starts, you can really take care of it before an issue comes up.
Yeah, and you want to take a look again at the chimney as well. You want to look for cracks. You want to look for any damage in the chimney. You want to look at your spark arrestor, your rain caps, those sort of things. And call in a professional if you think you need to, if there's some damage.
And what would you think on that and calling in a professional? I mean, having a home inspector just come out to your house, just like everything else we do. We have members of all of our financial team, and we meet and talk with them on a regular basis. How often should you talk with an inspector and maybe have them come out and do an overview on the house?
Well, if you're uncomfortable with something you see, you can do it annually.
Okay.
Maybe every couple years.
Okay.
Depends on how long you're in the house or how long you intend to be in the house. I tell our clients, decide what your time frame is.
Sure.
Depending on projects and how you want to take on your maintenance and the things that need to be done.
Makes total sense. So, Keith, you mentioned siding and foundations. What kind of maintenance is needed in these areas?
Well, there's quite a few, so I'm gonna quickly go through them. But first and foremost on your siding is you want to caulk all of your exposed seams. Remember, we're here in the Northwest, and moisture will find its way into the smallest spaces, and it's those little tiny drips that we don't think are going to do anything that cause us problems. And so you want to look around your siding, your windows, trim, and doors. You also want to look for stains or evidence of moisture damage around the whole exterior of the house. The other areas to look for is your dryer vent. Remember that lint fires, while they don't burst into flames, they smolder and they can cause a lot of damage. So you really want to keep an eye on your dryer vent and duct to keep it clean. A couple other things in your foundation, look for cracks and any type of minor cracks. And a minor crack is something, I would say, something smaller than you can put your little finger in, maybe about 1/4 of an inch. And you want to seal those, keep the moisture out. Lastly, look for any type of debris that's blocking your vent screens in your foundation, because your foundation needs to breathe just like we do, and it keeps the entire house above it happy and healthy.
Makes total sense. Brian, are there other maintenance items that are specific to the outside of the home?
Yeah, there is. I'll go a little deeper into the concrete and driveways.
Okay.
The cracks Keith's talking about, they expand and contract from possible frost and freeze. And you're going to want to seal those so water doesn't continue to get into them and cause those problems as we have some harsh winters. You want to check out your grading and your drainage. Again, this goes with the gutters as well, that you want to take care of drainage issues. You've got probably storm drains and grates that might be clogged up from winter's debris, and you want to pull those open and make sure that the drains are not clogged with the debris either. You'll get vegetation growth, as Keith has pointed out earlier, and you don't want it growing against your structure. It can damage your paint, it can damage your siding, it can also allow insects, bugs to get close to the house. No. And so you want to keep those cut back when you see them start to grow. And right now they're going crazy. Then you've got, your electrical. You just want to check out. You should have waterproof covers on these and check for damage. Check to make sure that your outlets are working properly. And if not, call a professional and have them take care of those issues. Plumbing, same thing. You want to make sure that you get the cover off of it. Check the hose bib, the exterior faucets. Make sure that they're secure. Hook a hose to them. Make sure that they don't leak. It's very important. And sprinklers, lastly. If you have a sprinkler system, if you're not comfortable working on these yourself, there's plenty of professionals out there that are in the landscape industry that can not only help you with your yard, but they can help you with your sprinkler systems. If you feel that you're well versed, go ahead and get those things functioning, get them, charged up, and look for leaks and any issues.
Yeah. And I imagine, with you guys, you work with the best of the best in all areas that can help and assist in things that you don't do. So I think it's important when you found your inspector and the person that's going to be taking care of your home, just like you find your financial advisor that's going to take care of your funds for retirement, from which we're going to talk with next, go to their resources and find out who that they have vetted to make sure they're going to take care of you, correct?
Yeah, exactly. You want to work with professionals that are going to take care of you and help you with your investments. That's what you're after.
Makes total sense.
You want somebody looking out for your best interests.
Yes.
That's what you hire them for.
Exactly.
So
we've talked about the outside maintenance for your home. Let's go ahead and move to the maintenance for the inside of your home. Keith, what are the typical interior items that should be included in our spring home maintenance?
Well, first and foremost, we're going to start with the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Those are things that we want to keep an eye on constantly. Your furnace just went through a winter where it was working harder than any other time of the year, as well as your water heater. But you also have areas that you don't see normally, such as your attic space. And then there's those areas under the kitchen and bathrooms where the plumbing are, and any type of water purification or softeners that are there. That's really covers most of typical inside items.
Okay. So Keith, do I need to know more than just to test the smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, or?
Well, we typically think of testing a smoke detector or carbon monoxide detector by pressing the button and seeing if it makes noise. The truth is, what we're really testing is the ability of the alarm to make noise. We're not testing, does it sense smoke or does it sense carbon monoxide. FEMA says that all carbon monoxide and smoke detectors should be replaced every 8 to 10 years because their ability to sense smoke or carbon monoxide is reduced or they become non-functional. However, that test button may still make noise. So the other thing to consider is carbon monoxide detectors should be placed near the floor at outlet height. Carbon monoxide pools at the floor and then works its way up. With the introduction of dual-purpose carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, they typically get placed on the ceiling, which is correct for the smoke detection, not correct for the carbon monoxide. So if you can, get a plug-in kind, put it in that outlet, and it'll save you the cost of batteries for 10 years.
You know, I got to say a funny story. Before my mom retired, she worked for Sprague Pest Control, awesome company. And they have all kinds of funny stories, but we're talking about smoke detectors. They called them Sprague Pest Control because they thought that they had crickets or something. It was the battery on the smoke detector that was beeping. So anyways, I had to throw that in there. Brian, let's go ahead and move over to you. What should a homeowner be looking for in the attic? I don't want to go up in the attic, but if I had to, what should I be looking for?
Well, if you do go up in the attic and feel adventurous, what you're looking for is moisture. After a season of wet and possibly windy, which we get a lot of, and possibly sometimes snow, you want to be looking for moisture leaks of any kind, staining, especially around your skylights or any openings like your vents. You want to go ahead and look for exhaust vents. You want your bathroom and your kitchen vents to exhaust outside, not in your attic, because it creates more moisture in your attic and potential problems. So make sure that they're all hooked up. Lastly, you want to check for damaged screens. So every attic should be ventilated, and that means there's screens over openings. So you want to go ahead and make sure they're not damaged. Check for any animal intrusion of any kind if they are.
Perfect. Keith, what are the spring maintenance items for a furnace and water heater?
Well, I'm going to focus primarily on the gas furnaces. Gas furnaces should be serviced routinely every year, every 2 years at the outmost. One of the byproducts of an improperly adjusted gas furnace is condensation, and that creates moisture that goes out your vent and will eventually rust, and we see this regularly, will rust holes in your vent or rust the inside of your furnace. And when it rusts holes in your vent, it dumps carbon monoxide into wherever area that is. So typically it's in the garage. It will put it into the garage and into the house. So having your furnace serviced is very, very important. Obviously, you want to change your filters at that point as well. From a water heater standpoint, you want to look for leaks. Most of the time a water heater fails, it doesn't fail in a big way. It has small leaks, so it gives you ideas that it's starting to have problems. So you want to look above, below, behind, everywhere that you can on a water heater for leaks. And also pay attention to your water temperature. If you start noticing it fluctuating heavily, it's giving you some indications that it's time to replace it.
Brian, there are a lot of plumbing in the kitchen and bathroom. So what kind of maintenance is needed for this area?
What you want to do is you want to take a look at your drains and any faucets, supply lines, that sort of thing that can spring leaks. You want to look at your cabinets and possibly find any water that might be lingering down on the bottom of those. That would be a leak problem. So you also want to look at garbage disposals, dishwasher connections, water filtration as well. Follow manufacturer's guidelines as far as when those filters should be changed. Make sure they're not leaking.
Yeah.
And your Insta-Hot, you want to make sure that that thing's functioning properly, not leaking. A lot of times we find them rusted out when they're old.
Yeah. And you know what? I think we did pretty darn good. I think we covered the outside, the inside. I got to take us to commercial, but Keith, give your disclaimer.
Hire a professional whenever you're not comfortable, but do your home maintenance. It will save you thousands of dollars.
Well said. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming in. Excited to have you back in studio. Again, go to the website, themoneyhour.com, type in final phase inspection. You can listen to the podcast, any information that they're sharing, because they're in here on a regular basis. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Tina.
Coming up next to the Money Hour, how do you set yourself up for success during retirement? Joe Ride with Sage Advisors LLC right here at 1150 AM KKNW after the short break.